In 1969, a collection of hippies and homeless people, dropouts and idealists moved upmarket by occupying a grand mansion in London's West End. The squat at 144 Piccadilly became the symbol of a burgeoning street culture that challenged the social and political status quo. One of the leading figures in the group was known as Dr. John. In reality, ex-Cambridge undergraduate Phil Cohen.
As soon as we moved into these bigger squats, then the media came round like flies round proverbial jam pot, and it escalated very rapidly over a period of about 3 or 4 months to being headline news. It became a sort of spectacle, a media spectacle, and lots of people turned up because they wanted to be part of it. I mean, we had the slogan which I devised, we're the writing on your walls, I suppose, so I suppose it was quite provocative in a way.
Over the days that followed, the cause gathered momentum, and numbers at what the press dubbed Hippy-Dilly grew and kept growing.
It became, I think, a kind of orphanage. It was a place where lots of young people who felt homeless in lots of different ways, or basically just wanted to leave home, and after all, it was the summer. And it seemed exciting, and it was where the action was. So, you know, hundreds of young people from all over the country started descending on us, because we hadn't bargained for this.
.144 wasn't just about homelessness. It was also a loud message from a younger generation looking for a different way of life.
We represented everything that was the antithesis of that time, stable, normal, 9-to-5, God-fearing, tax-paying kind of community. So we were seen to be the opposite of that. It was actually the most intense period of kind of conflict over values, lifestyles, cultures, and a lot of people got hurt in the process.
At the heart of the conflict was the issue of empty properties in central London. For the squatting movement, an empty house was a home going to waste.
Our sense of it was there were all these homeless families, there were all these empty houses. You know, a fairly simple idea for a solution was to put the homeless people in the empty houses, you know. In fact, we felt a bit self-righteous about it.
But the law didn't see it quite the same way. 2 weeks after they'd taken possession, it was all over. Sunday, September 21st, was eviction day.
They thought they could snub the conventions of decent society when they seized the 60-room mansion and transformed it into hippie house. For a week, several hundred dropouts took up residence.
Early in the morning, the police arrived in force.
They came over the roof, and then they abseiled down the building, and there were balconies in front of the building, and they got into the balconies, smashed the doors, and came into the main room where people were staying. I would say within half an hour, really, the police were in control of the building. And we made a deliberate decision not to do anything either to provoke the police or to, you know, or to resist, really. There was a crowd outside, and they were going, there he is, you know, the beast, or whatever. Anyway, I was being taken into the car and put in the police car, and then this woman sort of rushed towards me with his umbrella, shouting, scum, scum, and hitting the car, the police car. It's kind of one of those classic moments, you know.
A few of 144's ringleaders were prosecuted, but Phil Cohen was released without charge. Now a lecturer and director of the London East Research Institute, Professor Cohen is writing an account of this largely ignored piece of history and is keen to hear from anyone who shared in the events brought so dramatically to an end in the summer of '69.
But to be honest, I think in a way I was slightly relieved. I mean, the thing had got out of control. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it. I learnt a lot through it. It gave me some sense of what quite ordinary, and often people who are written out of the story seem to be hopeless, helpless, and whatever. And under some circumstances, people do rise to the occasion and are actually capable of acts of generosity, compassion, cooperation, and so on. Looking back on that, I think that's the thing that I hold on to. A lot of things came together in 144.